Megillah Daf Gimel. How's everybody doing? The Gemara tells us that the same woman that we know as Bisya, she also had other names, Yered, Gedor. She was the wife of Kalev, and the Torah calls her Hayudiyah because she rebelled against Avodah Zarah, just like her husband Kalev ben Yefuna rebelled against the Meraglim, and they got married. The Torah considers it as if she gave birth to Moshe Rabbeinu because she brought him up. Yered, because of Moshe Rabbeinu, Klal Yisrael had a man, it came down. Gedor, he fenced in the things that needed to be fenced in with the Torah, and he was like, he acted as a sukkah, as a covering. He connected Klal Yisrael to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His name is Yikasiel, because Klal Yisrael hoped for HaKadosh Baruch Hu in his days, and he davened for the Averis that should go away, and in fact they did. He was the Av, the father, in Torah, in Chacham, and in Vios. The Gemara tells us that Mordechai, he went to Golus all on his own without Achashverosh sending him out. And he married Esther, who was a Yisayma. She was an orphan. Her father died when her mother was pregnant. Her mother died at birth. And the word levas, to daughter, actually means lebayis, for a wife. According to one man, her name is Hadassah. She was a tzadeka. She was medium. She wasn't too tall, too short like a Hadass. Yurak. She was green, yellow, like a Hadass. Or perhaps her name is Esther, because she knew how to hid things. She didn't say where she's from, or like she was beautiful like the moon. And she had a chut of chen. Everybody saw her, thought that she's from their nation. She had 7 maidservants in order to count the day of Shabbos. She had one for Shabbos, then she knew that day was Shabbos. Haggai, he changed her food. He gave her kosher food, or some say he gave her chazer, and some say he gave her seeds. Shemen Amor was either balsam or it's olive oil that from olives that didn't bring a third, which caused the hair to come off, and it softens the skin. Achashverosh only had relations at night, and Esther came in Tevis when it was cold, and therefore he wanted her. When he wanted to, he had a tam of a psula or tam of a be'ula, whatever he wanted. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him that so that he should want Esther. And she wouldn't reveal where she's from, what nation she's from. Even if he made a suda for her, he took off the taxes, he gave special presents to everybody. Mordechai gave him an eitzah, go round up the women again. But she was able to keep a secret because she came from Shol. Mordechai also, he wouldn't be Megala, the Melucha, because he came from Rachel, who gave over the Simonim of Yaakov, that in order that her sister Leah shouldn't be embarrassed. Says Rebbe Lazar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu pays back Mida Keneged Mida, even if it's many generations later. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides that somebody's great, it never ends for generations. However, if somebody acts with Gaiva, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts him down. Esther would show Dam Nida to the Chachamim, and she would be toivel. In other words, she would rinse herself from the dirt of Achashverosh in order to be with Mordechai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed things around in the story. The Bigson and Seresh wanted to kill Achashverosh, which typically didn't make sense. But in this case, they wanted to kill him because he didn't let them sleep. And Mordechai, as we know the story, he understood the language of Tursi, and they were able to find the Bigson and Serach weren't at their regular roles. One did for the other, and that's how they figured out that they have a plan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Magdim Refuah Makkah. Typically, by the non-Jews, it's the opposite. First is a Makkah, then there's a Refuah. Haman wanted to take revenge in Mordechai, then in all the Chachamim, and then in all the Jews. He was extremely happy that the lottery fell out in the month that Moshe Rabbeinu died in Adar. But he didn't realize that that's the same month that Moshe Rabbeinu was also born, as it says in the Pasuk, Hayoy. He was a professional Lashon Hara speaker. And he told Achashverosh, they're sleeping, Klal Yisrael sleeping at the wheel from all the mitzvahs. They're one nation, they're spread out everywhere, they're like a mule, they don't produce anything. They're in all the countries. They don't eat from us. They don't marry us. They don't pay taxes. They always say it's Shabbos today. It's Pesach today. They always have a Yontiv and a Shabbos. And if the king touches a cup of wine, they'll spill it out. But if a fly falls into the wine, they'll drink it. They'll just take the fly out. Rish Lakish says HaKadosh Baruch Hu was magdim, that he created a mitzvah to give a machzis hashekel in order to counteract a future decree of Haman where he brought 10,000 shekel to Achashverosh. Have a wonderful day.